If you have been listening to the previous video lessons in this Keys of Magic series, I will have hopefully made clear that one foundational understanding of magic and of Earth as a magical realm is the absolute illusory nature of the world and its appearances. The world is a sandbox, a canvas, where appearances may be generated or called. The canvas and the appearances together amount to a deception. In general human society, use of the term deception usually carries connotation of wrongdoing and harm. In the case of dedication to the magician's path, deception is understood more neutrally. Deception can harm, of course. All neutral tools can be harmful or helpful. Think of wonderful theater plays. Think of the protective camouflage of some animals. Think of how we all put our best face forward. Deception is a natural part of Earth. The magician is clear that the world is deception. The deception of illusion or world has to be respected as powerful, and thus a tool not undertaken lightly. Think of a massive table saw. This is a power tool with a great capacity to be helpful and to create with. But a table saw can be dangerous if one is not prepared to respect it and use it properly, and so forth. I think you understand. That is the level of respect that entering and creating within the magical realm, illusory world of Earth, requires. And thus the invitation and purpose and strong encouragement to commit to at least some magical preparation and dedication. Not everyone has to be a master magician, but perhaps one would want to avoid total ignorance as well, and be open to learning and practicing some magical basics. In video 48 of the Keys of Magic series, I introduced you to the eye of the magician. This video, we're on video 61 right now, continues to develop that theme and that understanding and connection to that power within a magician, the power of their eye. Now, the eye is the body eye, but the eye also bespeaks of understanding and regarding what is received and brought into one's personal system from the surrounding world, and how that signal is interpreted. So the eye is what one sees in the world, human visual light spectrum, but also what one sees in the world. The way a human sees the world amounts to their level of deception or of being undeceived. A novice magician is preparing to be 100% undeceived as they continue to come into their stance, power, and practice as, eventually, an adept magician. Generally, when a human tries to be undeceived, they try to figure out what is true and what is untrue in the world. The magician is aware that this is a fruitless exercise. The magician understands that all language, all idea, all system, all storyline and history, all appearance, all conditions are the mask, the deception. Anytime one takes any of these canvas tools as reality, deception has occurred. Again, this is not necessarily a bad thing all the time. Immersion may be desired. The capacity to step back and uncouple from that immersion and realize it's a play and a canvas device is also necessary, especially as the magician. So the magician is not trying to figure out truth, but to become neutral and empty of all belief, empty of all attachment to appearance and storyline. The magician does not need to believe, but rather to divest of all belief and become empty. And P.S. we'll talk more about belief in the future, what belief can and cannot do. And spoiler alert, belief is not needed for magic and often gets in the way. The world is a deception from what? From true nature. And there may be other ways to refer to that, but that's what I'm calling it in this series and in terms of the magical path. I'm not going to discuss true nature in this video. I'll leave it posited. I have introduced true nature in previous videos, but I haven't really done a deep dive on that yet. And I may or may not, because the magician is definitely the path of working with illusion. But being undeceived necessarily also means comprehending the true nature of all things, and particularly of the beings with which the magician has affinity within the magician's chosen art. So in other words, the magician's sight sees the world illusion as illusion, and true nature as true nature, and doesn't mix up the two. And by the way, the ability for the magician to do this takes purification and practice, which I will continue to guide you in. For now, every time I give a new lesson, ponder it and go with it out into your village explorations. And please review Keys of Magic video 57 for a description of that practice. One important deception in the world that the magician becomes aware of is the deception of desire. The magician may work with desire in order to lead to selected appearances, but does not become blind to take the desire as a reality, nor the appearance as a reality. And by the way, later on in development, the magician generally calls appearance without desire. And I will talk more about the practices of working with desire sometime in the future. But let me say that any time you have a desire, you have been deceived. There is no exception to that. Which doesn't make desire a bad thing. You can create magic with your desire, but it's not real, neither the desire nor the magic. But desires and magic are ways to play here in this earth realm and enjoy yourself. I invite you to review Keys of Magic videos 6 and 7. Now when you hear the statement of the magician as one with power to create world, and magicians referred to as masters of illusion, you may hear that a bit differently, a little more richly. The master of illusion is one who has the power to create world, because the world is nothing but illusion. The master of illusion can see clearly what the world is and is not. The master of illusion can then manipulate that illusion based on that undeceived sight. That manipulation is also the creation of more illusion, but hopefully an enjoyable and helpful version of it. Soon in upcoming lessons, I will open a theme of talking more about the nature and capacity of this world illusion canvas, so that you can continue to have your eyes opened as the magician to see the world as it is. I also want to give one more object lesson, since I have been emphasizing that the world and all appearance in it is illusion, deception, and not real. Some of the most wonderful creations and experiences on earth come under this category. There is an electric playhouse here in my town where people go to play with the light-based images and ooh and ah. Every movie I've ever watched, every painting and sculpture there ever was. How about that story where one could get to another world from the back of a wardrobe or closet? We all know these are not real, and yet they are. They are real experiences for us to enjoy. It's a bit of a paradox. You can immerse in and enjoy the unreal, because our true selves came for that, to be creators and experiencers. So it's real enough as that. So my invitation is not to stop doing magic, but to do more magic. I am inviting not to fear or disdain, but to clarity and greater skill in creating with illusions. But that also means seeing through the inventions of humankind in history that are much less fun, not to mention harmful and oppressive, and realizing that they are exactly that, inventions. And we can invent other storylines and appearances. The magician's path is one of personal empowerment. Anytime you take something as real, unless you are immersing on purpose, anytime you are deceived that something is real, then your agency is also truncated. Because if something is, then it cannot be changed, and you are captured. But magic says you can change anything in the world with the right language and the right conditions and the right connections. And this never harms or modifies your true nature. It's just a way to enjoy this world. And you become free from capture and free to create. Finally, this also ties into the purification of the magician. Purification has a few purposes, but one of them is your release from deception. Every debris in your system, in your body, in your energy, each debris is a way that you are deceived. Thus, as you release debris and gradually and naturally move to a neutral and empty ground state, you are also moving to greater and greater freedom from deception. This will open up the entire canvas of the world for you to call appearances. Again, hopefully you've listened to all the previous videos at least once so that you have some background for what I've said here. Even if you've already listened once, if you would like to review any videos with specific tie-ins, then please check the description for a video lesson review list. I'll see you next time.